What's up YouTube, it's GhostRider15 here, back at it again with another GOAT format video. And today's video is going to be a replay review of one of my most recent matches that I played. I'm going to actually be playing Warrior for this one. I don't play Warrior too often, but we're going to go ahead and give it a try. I might not do as good as the Warrior legends like LeBounty, SDL Killa, or Moxies, but we're going to try. So without further ado, let's just jump right into the video. Alright, so I end up losing the RPS, and I'm going to be going second because obviously in GOAT format you draw 6, and you always want to go first. So my opening hand is Mirror Force, Pot of Greed, Dust Shoe, Call, and BLS. Pretty good. I can't really complain too much. The only thing that I wish I had is a monster to normal summon, but there's a good chance we draw into one with Pot anyway. So he draws for turn, activates Duo, which is a bit unfortunate because if he hits his Pot, we are in trouble. Everything else is not too bad to hit. So he hits the BLS, which is actually the one that I did want him to hit because I know it sounds weird because BLS is like the best monster in the format. But right now I have no light and dark to set it up anyway. And in Warrior it's actually a bit harder to do it compared to something like Chaos Turbo. So I discard Call as well because I have no monsters. He activates Upstart. And then he uses Thunder Dragon, so now I can assume that I'm playing against Chaos Turbo, Chaos Control, or like Ritual Chaos. He sets 2, he sets a monster, and I draw Heavy Storm, which is actually really nice here. So if I do get hit by Shoot, I don't care. The only thing that would suck is like Jar of Greed, but you know, it is what it is. I think we gotta risk it because if there's a Solemn Judgment set there and he hits Pot, my hand is pretty bad. So best case scenario happens and it turns out that I go 2 for 1 here. He set both Ring and MST. Activate Jar. I draw into Solemn and Breaker. I'm not going to summon the Breaker here because it's not good. I want to wait for him to set a back row, obviously. But I am going to set everything else on his standby, obviously Shoot. And let's take a look at his hand. So yes, Thunder Dragon, Breaker, Swap. The obvious choice here is Breaker, obviously. There's no reason to hit Thunder Dragon, he can just search the other one again. And I have 2 trap cards that are pretty vulnerable to Breaker. So the Breaker goes back. And it turns out he has Magician of Face set, so he has 3 good targets that he can get back. MST, Upstart, and Duo. I actually debate on using the Solemn here, but in the end I decided that it's not worth it. He gets back MST. Tributes for Thunder Dragon, which is fine with me. I have Mirror Force, but I don't feel like I need to use it right now. I still have a lot of life points. Plus, his Breaker can just run over the Thunder Dragon. He sets 1, and because of Trap Dust Shoe, I know what it is. It's MST. And I draw into Ring, which is pretty good. So I run over the Thunder Dragon as I said I would do, and then main phase 2, I actually decide to pop this MST despite knowing that it's MST because I don't want him to hit this Ring. I'd rather keep the Ring than one of these two because Ring is, in my opinion, the best trap card in the format. So let's see what he hits with MST. He hits Mirror Force, which is okay. Set the Ring and pass. He activates Upstart. I'll take the points. Sets 2, passes it back to me. I know one of these is a bluff because in his hand. He has one Thunder Dragon. So we know about Thunder Dragon and Swap, so Swap is here somewhere. I attack. He takes it, and I just pass. There's no point of setting this Dust Shoot because he's not even close to 4 cards in hand. I'd rather use this for something else like Tribe or Graceful. I draw DD Warrior Lady, and I decide to end up summoning DD Warrior Lady. I know it's a bit risky because of Mirror Force and Torrential both being live still, but I know one of these is Swap, like I said earlier. So even if he does have like Mirror Force or Torrential, I do have the Solemn. So it turns out to be Goats, which I'm okay with. It could have been worse. So I pass turn, and now he's gonna switch his Goat to attack to activate Creature Swap. I'm not gonna give him the DD Warrior Lady. I'm gonna give him the Breaker because DD Warrior Lady is just a better card overall in this scenario because Breaker already used its effect. So I go ahead and ring my Breaker, and now I have a token, which is not good to have in this deck because when you have Blade Knight, you don't want other monsters on your field. So he sets 1, passes it to me. I summon the Breaker, or the Blade Knight, just as I mentioned. So I swing with Blade Knight onto the token, and the reason I do that is because I want the DD Warrior Lady to swing into the face-down monster and potentially banish something like Serpent or Sangan. And it does turn out to be Serpent, so I go ahead and banish both of them. Still keeping this shoot in hand because there's no use for it. He sets 1, and normally this token would have been a big hindrance, but I drew into Exiled, and Exiled is basically going to get rid of whatever he set. The only thing that would suck is if he set Sangan. We don't have to worry about Serpent anymore. But you know, it's just one monster. I think it's correct to actually go ahead and Exiled. And it turns out to be Faith, which is really good here. I go ahead and swing, and he is one shot away from losing this game. He sets a monster, I draw Snatch, and I just swing. And unfortunately for me, it is the worst case scenario. He does have the Spy, and now I can't kill him. So I just have to pass turn here. He heavies, which I have Solemn, but there's no point of Solemning. He tribute summons and activates meta, so he's just going all out. He's saying screw it, let's just do it right now. Which, you know, I understand. So I draw Snatch Steal, or I draw Knock, but Snatch Steal can be used on the Bolter because Bolter only stops normal traps or normal spells. But I don't actually think it's worth it because Bolter can't run over the Spy, and I'm just going to be giving him life points at this moment for free, which is bad because he's already at 1500. I don't want to take him out of kill range. So I just set this bluff Knock because, you know, I want him to at least think it's like parental or something. He thinks for a while, passes it to me, and I draw the perfect out. This is basically game because Premature can't be negated by Bolter. I can bring back Exiled. I can pop his Spy, take control of his Bolter, Knock, go for game. And that's game. So the patience of holding Snatch Steal ended up working out. If I would have used it right away, he would have gained 1000, and that would not have been enough for game. That would have gave him an opportunity to top deck something like BLS, and I would have lost. So on to game 2. My opening hand is Dawn, Call, level 2, Jar Greed, and Tiger. So I do side Tiger for this matchup because it's really good against Goats. It's good against Sook, it's good against Thousand Eyes. The only thing that's weird is it does conflict with cards like Donzalug and level 2, which I did end up drawing both. But, you know, if you play it carefully, it's not that bad. He sets 2 and I draw MST. So I just go ahead and summon the Tiger over the Donzalug because usually when control players set 2 cards right away, there's a good chance that one of them is Scapegoats. And Don's not going to go through, so I'd rather just summon Tiger and prevent the Goats from being able to resolve anyway. So he activates Ring on my Tiger, but that's fine because I can bring it back whenever I need with Call. I set everything in pass. He sets a monster, I activate Jar. Draw into Exile, draw into Upstart. Activate Upstart, draw into another Jar. So here I debate on you summoning level 2 or Exiled, and I feel like Exile is just better. Or, excuse me, I feel like level 2 is just better because if he does end up killing it with his back row, I have the Call anyway. So worst case scenario, I just bring it back. And it turns out to be Spy, which is perfect. That's like the most annoying flip for warriors to deal with. Here he summons Breaker, and that's not that much of a problem. The only card I don't want him to hit is obviously Call the Haunted. I'm okay with MST and Jar Greed getting hit. Let's see what he hits. He gets MST, so I just chain it. And here he activates Goats, but both of us forgot that he's not even able to activate Goats here in this scenario because he normal summoned Breaker. So yeah, that was a mistake that we both screwed up on. But fortunately for me, I do have this Call of the Haunted to bring out Tiger anyway and prevent the Goats regardless. So he swings over level 2. Sets the monster, but this time I actually caught that he actually normal summoned already. So he actually it messes up twice in this turn, but thankfully the second time it got caught. So I draw Tiger, activate Jar, draw Ring, pretty good. So I just go ahead and summon the Tiger because I can't normal summon either of these monsters in my hand. Swing, set the Ring, and just, you know, try to get him closer to kill range. Unfortunately, he has Tribe Infecting Virus, and the worst case scenario happens. He discards Sinister, so I just go -2 here. So I get rid of his Tribe with Ring, and hopefully that's going to be enough for me to get a hit with Donzalug and try to gain back some card advantage. Fortunately for me, no back row in sight. So now Donzalug can go in. Let's see what I hit. Snatch Shield, that's a really nice hit. So now I don't have to worry about him taking my Donzalug and forcing me to use Sakuretsu. So he's debating on getting back his Serpent, you know, which makes sense because Warrior is known for playing like multiple copies of Dust Shoot. The only thing that does suck for him is if he keeps this Serpent in the grave and Donzalug gets another hit, it's actually going to rip a real card. So it's a bit of a tough situation. He summons Zumbira, and he doesn't attack, which I'm fine with because I just go ahead and normal summon the Exiled, and Donzalug is going to get another free hit. So I'm slowly building up the card advantage and putting the game back into my favor. See what I hit? I hit Magician of Faith, which is pretty good because now I don't have to worry about him recycling Snatch Shield or Goats. The only thing that does suck is now he has a Light in the Grave, and I might get destroyed by like BLS or Chaos Sorcerer. He gets back a Serp because there's no point of keeping it there anymore. He only has 3 cards in hand. Sets 2, passes it to me. I draw Judgment, which is okay here. Not the greatest, but you know, still pretty good. So it was Sangin that he had said. He searches out Spy, which makes a lot of sense because, you know, he has to wall up until he starts drawing his gas. So I just go ahead and set Solemn because, you know, I don't want him doing something crazy. He draws for turn. Sets 2, passes it to me. I draw Saku, which is not great here because I already have a lot of battle traps. Battle traps for days. Don't need any more at this moment. I'm very confident that he set the Spy, so I just go ahead and switch that Donzaluk to defense and pass turn. He sets another monster and passes it to me. I draw Pot of Greed, which is really good here. I just go ahead and activate it. I don't set anything because there's no need to play around Dushu if you're playing Warrior. That's what I call Warrior Privilege. And I draw 2 Kaiku and Dust Tornado. Dust Tornado, not the greatest here because I can't get over that Spy anyway. But Kaiku is actually really good because now I just don't get destroyed by BLS or Sorcerer anymore. Attack. And that's the Serpent, so now I'm like almost 100% sure that's the Spy set. Sets 2. And on the end phase, I Tornado. I end up hitting Torrential, which is actually a really good hit here because I would have got destroyed by Sinister plus Torrential combo. So I draw Rhoda, and I'm gonna go ahead and Rhoda into DD Warrior Lady because I know that there's a high chance he just sets Serpent again. And we need to get that Serpent out of rotation. Make cards like Metamorphosis a lot worse. So that's what I do. I swing, and unfortunately I do run into a Mirror Force, but I have this Solemn Judgment set, and I think it's like very worth using it here because not only does it prevent me from going -1, but it also prevents me from losing to cards like BLS and Sorcerer because I get to keep the Kaiku. So I banish them both. Just set Mirror Force, no point of setting the other Saku, and pass turn. And he unfortunately has Royal Decree on the end phase. That's something that I was not expecting at all. That back row was just sitting there for a very long time. And yeah, now I actually have no outs to this, so it's looking a bit tough. Sets 1, passes it to me. I draw Tiger, and I decided to go ahead and summon the Tiger because, you know, he has Decree, so I don't have to worry about Torrential. And Torrential's actually gone. Same as Mirror Force, so Sweepers on his side are gone. Or, you know, he can't activate any trap at all, so I have a strong feeling he has, like, Goat set. So I just summon the Tiger because I don't want him to do any Goat shenanigans. He sets another monster, passes it to me. I draw a useless Tornado. So here I actually decide to swing at the Spy because now that I have Tiger on the field, when he brings out the new Spy from his deck, it's going to get destroyed by Tiger's effect. I don't know if that was correct because I do end up taking a bit of damage for it, but you know, I decided to go for it anyway. So here, he actually doesn't bring out anything. And if you take a look at his graveyard, there's already a spy in his grave, so there's actually a good chance that that monster that's face down on his side of the field is the third copy of spy. So yeah, this is actually making it easier for me to read what he has. He draws, passes it to me. I draw Dead Dust Shoot. My entire hand is just trapped and they're all dead, so I really can't do much right now. I just have to pass. He activates Upstart. I'll take the points. And unfortunately, Upstart draws him into pot. Upstart too good. And pot gets him Thunder Dragon, so he went +2 on this turn. The tides are starting to turn. I draw into Knock, which is actually really good here because now I have an answer to that set monster, which I think is Spy. But if I use it now, I don't have game anyway, so I don't think it's worth it. Because there's a chance that he could set like another copy of Magician of Faith and then get back like Pot or Snatch Steal, and now I'm screwed. The game just gets out of hand. So I think it's worth actually just saving the Nobleman for now. He sets one, passes it to me. I draw into Snatch Steal, and now it's potentially game if I activate this knock. Because I can knock the set, Snatch Steal the spy, attack for game. I don't have to worry about goats because of Thunder or King Tiger. The only way he survives is if he has like MST or Book. But I think I just gotta go for it at this point before he draws it out to my field. So that's what I do. Attempt to attack for game. And it's game. So yeah, GG's. I end up taking it 2-0 with Warrior. So yeah, let's go ahead and take a look at his hand. Oh, he had Thunder Dragon swap, MST, and swords. I'm very surprised that he didn't use the MST, or he didn't set the MST, or at least activate the swords. Because you have to be aware of what cards you end up losing to, and Snatch Steal is basically one of them in this scenario, so yeah, he definitely had to set MST to survive there. But yeah, that's pretty much it. That's all I have for you guys today. If you like this type of content, please like and subscribe. This is Ghostwriter15 signing out.